bought some new vinyl yesterday at the thrift store across the street from my apartment, so I thought I would share some of it. Got some interesting stuff here, I think. The first thing we have here is a Judy Collins album. This is titled In My Life. This was released in 1966, and this one has her doing some songs with a lot of orchestral arrangements, which was a new thing for her. She's doing some interesting songs on here, some Beatles songs, Leonard Cohen songs, Bob Dylan songs. But I've never really heard a Judy Collins album before, so I picked this up, thought I'd give it a try. So, that ought to be interesting. Next we have the Annie the Musical soundtrack from the Broadway show, which ran for, I believe, 6 years, it says. Which was set a record for the theater, which was the Alvin Theater. It's now called the Neil Simon Theater. And Annie is going to be back on Broadway in 2012, so that'll be interesting to see. But I picked this up. It's in really good shape, and it's a classic musical everybody knows, so I thought it'd be neat to have that. Next we have Dionne Warwick with Here Where There Is Love on Scepter Records. This is her 7th album, and it was produced with Burt Bacharach and Hal David, so it's quite an interesting album. It has her singing Burt Bacharach's classic hit, What the World Needs Now Is Love, Sweet Love, and there's a lot of other stuff. She's doing a version of Bob Dylan's Blowing in the Wind, and quite an interesting looking album. I haven't heard any of these yet so far, but these were all in really good shape, and I was excited to find them. Next we have a Four Tops album, live. Don't know too much about this. This is on Motown, and it says recorded live at the upper deck of the Rooster Tail, Detroit, Michigan. So it's a Motown album recorded in Detroit, live, and it's the Four Tops, and this is Baby I Need Your Lovin' on here, Reach Out, I'll Be There, You Can't Hurry Love, The Girl from Ipanema, If I Had a Hammer. So a lot of standards on here. Should be interesting. It's in really good shape as all the rest of them, so I thought that was nice. Next thing we have here is Styx Paradise Theater, I'm sorry. This was released in January of 1981, and it became the biggest hit from Styx. There were 5 singles on this: The Best of Times, Too Much Time on My Hands, some other hits on here. And one thing that's interesting about this particular album, it is, on the back side, it is laser etched. I don't know if the camera will pick that up at all, but it's quite an interesting thing that I've never seen on a record before. I didn't even know. I've never seen it before, but it's quite an interesting effect. I don't know if it affects how it plays or not. There is actually music on this side of the album, but this is the A side, and the B side is laser etched. So that's an interesting find. Next up we have the Kingston Trio back in town on Capitol Records, and the interesting fact about this, it was released in 1964, and in 1964 Kingston Trio was at the end of their contract with Capitol, and they were due to release one more album with Capitol, so they released this live album, and that completed their contract with Capitol Records in 1964. And this did make it to number 22 on the pop charts, Billboard. So that's the Kingston Trio back in town. It's recorded in San Francisco. It's a live album. And like I said before, I've been collecting Kingston Trio, trying to get all their albums. They were quite prolific. They released usually 3 or 4 albums a year. And the final thing we have here is a Doctor Who collector's edition 2-record set. On one album it has the audio from an episode of Doctor Who called Genesis of the Daleks, and on the other album it has Doctor Who sound effects. And unfortunately the bonus 45 RPM Doctor Who theme is missing, and the Doctor Who full color poster is missing from this set also. So it would have been nice to find this with those 2 things also, but it's still an interesting find. Just some of the weird stuff you find at thrift stores, just quite an interesting. And this is a gatefold album, and it has some pictures inside. Quite neat. Like I said, I would have really enjoyed to find this with the poster and the extra 45, but these were all 50 cents each, so pretty happy to find them. So thanks for watching, and enjoy your vinyl. Bye bye.